Welcome back. In this session, we are going to start our grid portrait. In the last session, you made a grid transparency and you made a piece of grid paper that looked like this. The transparency paper had 1 inch by 1 inch boxes drawn on it, and the paper that we're going to enlarge to has a 2 inch by 2 inch box drawn on it. So we measured these 2 inches by 2 inches. All right. Today our goal is to start with our picture and get kind of the outline of our head down first before we start moving into the rest of it. So in your mirror, you can use the mirror, and I've already instructed you to tape your grid onto your mirror so that one of the lines is going right underneath your nose and the other line is hopefully going about right through your eyes. And trying to find like 1 or 2 landmarks that you're going to line your paper up with. I'm lining this one up with my nose, and I've made sure that this little corner here is right on the corner of my eye. So that's going to give me kind of a guideline for where I'm going to be. Other parts that just happen to work out nicely is that this corner is right at the edge of my chin, this corner is right at the edge of my head, or rather my hair, and this corner here is at the edge of my hair, and that this line almost goes right underneath my eye. Those are all super helpful points that we can look at as we start going through. Now, the goal is to take whatever line is inside of a box, so this is the A2 box, here's my A2 box, and take whatever line is in here and put it into the right place in this box. One thing that you can do is you can look at the positive shape. So let's pretend my hair, this little triangle area here, is the positive shape. Or you could look at the negative shape. This area up here is the negative shape. Whichever one you want to look at. But mostly you're going to be thinking about lines. Okay, so I'm going to start. Here's my empty paper. Okay. I'm going to take this and we're going to do like the first couple boxes here. So in A1, I look in A1 and I don't see anything there. So I'm going to leave it blank. I look at A2 and I see that the line starts right at this corner and goes up, and it's a little below the halfway. I'd say halfway is about right there. So it's just a little bit below halfway. So I started this corner. I'm going to mark my halfway point, and I'm going to start a little bit below the halfway and kind of do a gentle curve down here to this point. Okay, and once I have that line pretty confidently in the right place, I'm going to move on to A3. So here in A3, I see that the line continues from where it left off in A2, and it ends almost right on that corner, just a little bit higher than that corner. So if I come over here and I go just a little bit higher than the corner, right there, and then I kind of shoot for this top piece here, like so, that fills in my A3 box. Now I look at A4, nothing there, so I'm just going to kind of leave that. Now I'm going to move down to my B4 box, which is this one right here. Okay, and I'm going to look, where does this line continue? All right, it kind of comes right here. It's almost on that corner. It's just a little bit outside of it. And it's going to end, I'd say this part right here is about halfway. So it's maybe a little bit to the right of halfway. So if here's halfway, it's a little bit to the right of halfway. Now it kind of angles, this line here, angles straight till a little past the middle, and then it kind of comes down on an angle. So I'm going to angle it kind of straight, and then once I get past halfway, it kind of comes down on an angle. Okay, so I've kind of broken that up into like 2 little lines in my mind. All right, so you can kind of see how I finished that line from there to there. Now I'm going to come down to here, and I'm going to take this line. It kind of curves out a little bit and then curves in, and it ends pretty close. I'd say it's a little bit more like right there. It's not straight down, it's a little bit to the right. And it kind of, what did we say? I'm going to actually move this over here. Maybe that's better. There we go. Now I can see both pieces. All right. And I'm going to angle this, what do we say? It comes out a little bit comes in a little bit, and then right at the end it turns out. Kind of like that, kind of a curved line. Now, the next part is this hair piece, and then we'll just kind of take this ear on. So here's the little hair piece. It goes about like that, and then the ear comes down, starts right where the hair leaves off, and it actually comes all the way down to the line, almost meets my head here in that line. It kind of curves out just a bit out there, and then it like swoops in like that. Now this ear comes into the E4 box. Now I'm going to just check. Yes, I am on E4. Always kind of keep checking back to make sure you're in the right place. Okay, so that E4 box right here, you can see the ear comes in a little bit, then it goes down. That's about where my chin is, and then my chin starts angling in that way right there. So I'm going to take this line and go over the box a little bit. Then this line comes straight down to about, I'd say about there, and then it angles in so it looks something like this. Okay, now my chin goes through the F4 box, right here, the F4 box. It goes through just in that little corner area, something like that. And then my chin is in the 3F box, and my chin is kind of flattened out right here, and it starts to curve up. I'd say that this actually comes down a little further. It starts to go this way, and then it curves in and flattens out there. About like that. It might be a little bit too low. We're going to go back and check it in a little bit. But that's about where that chin line is. Now, this chin here in the F2 box is going to come here, and it's going to go all the way up to this corner. Now, the trick about this is there's a shadow. This line right here is shadow, and my chin, my actual chin line is like right there. They're super close to each other. So I'm gonna actually draw the chin line, and I'll come back and do the shadow in a separate video. But this chin line is going to come up here, and it's going to end right at the corner where that E and F 1 and 2 box come together. Now my jaw continues in this E box up to the D, about, I'd say about right there. It's kind of curves out here and then angles a little bit more straight up like that. Now in the D box, I'm running into a little problem because my ear, I'm going to just do the ear and keep the outside here. So I'm going to start here in my E box, and I'm going to put this ear on. And the ear, I'd say it's about halfway. So it's going to curve up, and it angles, meets that halfway part, but it angles, and it angles out to about here. The angle changes, I'd say about a quarter of the box high, about right here. The angle changes and starts to go back up into that part of my ear, like that. And then the little edge of the ear comes here and curves up over that, something like that. We're going to come back and do it a little bit later. Okay, I just want the outline. Now my hair comes, I'd say it's a little bit farther than half, that's halfway, a little bit farther than halfway. It comes about here, and it curves up to about there. And the last box is coming from this B up to that A2 box. And this, again, this line comes down here on pretty straight angle, and then this one kind of angles differently. All right, so now I've finished that whole head outline all the way around, looking each box one at a time. It's really essential that as you go through this, you take each box and you look at each line in each box so you can really just see the line. You want to get the curve and the straightness and the characteristic of each line. So that's how to start your grid enlargement drawing of your self-portrait and go through each box at a time just to get the outline.